All right, we are live. All right, guys, welcome to the 51st episode of Ask Me Anything Sunday night show. So what we do here is very simple. I go live every Sunday night alone. All right, unlike my another show, which is the Three Marketer show, I still have like two friends to come live together. But for this one, Ask Me Anything show is really to help you answer your questions about Facebook advertising and digital marketing. So yeah, we go live on multiple places like on YouTube channel as well as on Facebook page. I understand a lot of you actually watch the replay, so don't worry. If you're watching the replay, remember any questions you have about Facebook ads and even digital marketing, post them in the comment. Just drop a comment in any of the videos that you watch that you have some problem or you have some questions that you don't understand. Drop it there, and I'll pick up on the following Sunday to answer your questions. So that's how the whole thing works. We've been doing this for about like 51 weeks now. Next week is our 1 year anniversary of the Ask Me Anything show. It's very interesting because over the past 1 year, we have actually answered close to. I actually did a rough calculation. You just do a quick calculation about every week, right? Every week like this, every Sunday, we actually get to answer about 3 to 10 questions. I mean, 5 to 10 questions in between. So let's take maybe in between 7. That's close to about 400 questions that we have answered. If you actually did a quick calculation, at least about 3 to 400 questions that we have answered in the past 1 year. It's a very interesting journey. I find it very fulfilling, first thing first, because it is always my desire to help more people to be able to do advertising right using digital media, and especially what I specialize in is on Facebook advertising. So yeah, I mean, I find it very interesting because for the past many years, that's what I do day in day out, right? As a Facebook advertising coach. This is the first time you watch me anywhere. I actually have been running a Facebook advertising agency since 2010. Specifically specialized in Facebook advertising, but of course we also did a few other things like website development, apps, and all that. But yeah, I actually very specialized on Facebook ads personally. So I actually stopped the agency part of business last year, and basically is because I think I find myself a lot more passionate in teaching and coaching. So that's what I did. Last year we stopped the agency. I believe 10 years is good enough. So we just end that part of business, and I focus a lot more on coaching and training. So yeah, I mean, if you guys need help, just a quick shout out, right? We just launched something today. So if you are watching this and if you need help to try to understand your Facebook advertisement in one way or another, I just want to quickly bring it up and show you one very important so-called kind of like a promotion, or so-called the offer that we just recently launched. Now, a lot of you probably knows that I do this one-on-one coaching. You see, there are many ways to work with me. Okay, the easiest way is to join me on the Sunday night like this, and I'll be answering your questions, any of your questions, right? Facebook ads related, of course. You don't ask me what do I eat for dinner and all that. That's not what I do. So if you ask me any Facebook ads questions, I will answer them over here. Now, on top of that, if you need more help, you can either choose to learn from all my courses. I mean, I have several courses available. You can actually go to my website, tripupacademy.com, to browse for all the courses. Most of them are on demand, which means all you need to do is just choose which one you want, sign up for it, and then you can start learning right away. Now, on top of that, if you need more help, you can see that, Jason, I need help. I have different coaching programs, but you don't need to go through that yet until you find out what's the problem that you're facing with Facebook ads. That's why I have this very signature one-on-one Facebook ads audit that what we would do in this one-on-one Facebook ads audit is this. Okay, if you sign up for this, what we're going to do is we're going to spend 30 minutes together via a Zoom call. So what I do is I will dive into your Facebook ads campaign and understand what you have done right or wrong. Here's my philosophy. Okay, when we run ads, there are only two possibilities. It's either you have a successful advertisement or advertising campaign, or you have a not so successful one. Now, for both of these scenarios, in my opinion, we need to find out why. Because if you know why you're doing well in this particular campaign, let's say you have a very thriving campaign, you want to find out what you did right so that you can leverage on the success and scale right? So that's the first angle to look at it. Now, when you have a failed campaign, let's say you have a not so successful one, we definitely need to find out why was that not so successful, so that we can actually learn from all the mistakes that we made to avoid making the mistakes again in the future, isn't it? So from both these angles, it's really important to learn what you have done right or wrong on your Facebook ads campaign. So that's exactly what we do. So like now we just passed the 11/11, right? Today is on what, 14. So how many of you are actually doing good on 11/11? I hope you're doing good. But if you're not, then it's not your fault. Always believe that, it must be something that we can actually learn from whatever campaign that you have run to see how we can actually improvise for the future one. So if you want to sign up for a one-on-one Facebook ads audit, we just launched a very special offer today, which, all you need to do is to go to this link, facebookads.com/FB ads audit, and you use this code NOV20, NOV20, to check out, and you get $20 off on the one-on-one coaching session. So here's how it works. All you need to do is just go over, sign up, make payment, and you'll be able to schedule a one-on-one session with me right away using the calendar scheduling tool that we have on the landing page. Now, here's what we do, yeah? This NOV20 is only until end of November 2021. I know you might be watching this, I don't know, maybe like 6 months down the road, and you come back and say, Jason, how come I can't use this code anymore? Because it's only for November 2021. And it's only for the first 20 who sign up. 20. I know, because I have very limited times. I have a lot of coaching engagements and all that. I just want to make sure that I'm not overstretching myself. All right. So only for the first 20 who sign up. And either way, the offer ends on the 30th of November, 11:59 p.m., which you have probably about 2 weeks to go. So if you need help, here's the thing. If you run ads on Facebook, only if you run ads on Facebook, and you need my help to come in and check your Facebook ads campaign to see what you have done right or wrong, this is the link, and this is the promotion, or so-called the offer, that you have to grab, because it's expiring on the 30th of November 2021, and it's only for the first 20 person who sign up. So off you go. All right. So let's come back to what we are supposed to do today. We have a few questions to answer. And in fact, we have 3 main questions, but one of them actually consists of three questions altogether. So I'm going to go through them together. But nonetheless, guys, if you're watching this live, you know the drill, right? All you need to do is you just need to post your questions in the comment section, whether you're on YouTube or on Facebook. Just post your questions in the comment, and I'll bring them up and answer them as we move along. Okay, I'm actually looking at this. Yeah, I mean, you guys are, I don't know, probably you are actually watching some drama and you're listening to me. I don't know. We got quite a number of viewers over here, but just post your questions. Okay, now I have a very important question, because when you're building Facebook ads, you know that there is a tool for you to build a URL parameter. As in, like, this is really something that is very similar. It's actually the same as, when we are running ads on Google, we have this UTM builder. UTM, I don't know what's the full name like. It's like when you're building the URL, let's say you have abc.com. Okay, if your destination is abc.com, you want to add some parameters to the back of it to actually allow Google Analytics to capture where is this conversion coming from. So because we have the issue with what do we call the Facebook attribution, on since I don't know like which month already. I think it's July 2021 or something like that. What happened was we had this iOS 14.5 update, which wiped away basically the attribution part of Facebook Ads Manager metrics, analysis. As in, like, we used to be able to know who are the, let's say, is it male who actually contributed more to the conversion, or is it female? Every conversion is attributed to the demographics. But after that iOS 14.5 update, it went away. So what you can do is, in turn, you can use the parameter builder to track, to actually kind of like analyze the performance of your campaign to see which one works better. That's why we have this URL parameter builder. So I'm just going to quickly take you into the ads manager. So this is the ads manager, right? So we have the campaign level, and this is the ad set level, and this is the ad level. Now in the ad level, if you go scroll down, when you put in a parameter over here, this is the URL, right? This is the website URL, the destination that you want to bring your audience to, all right? So that's the destination. So all you need to do is very simple, right? So when you put up a link, so this is the landing page that you want to put up. All right, so let's say you have this option, build a URL parameter. So a lot of you probably kind of like find it confusing, but then the question was how to use this thing. So there are different ways of doing this. I would say my way of doing this may not be the so-called I don't know the standard way of doing it, like how all other so-called performance marketer do. But for me, it's very simple. I just want to find out which ad works better. For example, like here you have 2 ads running, right? So a single image on the 10, single image on the 12. So what I'll do is I just want to see which ad works better. So I'll do is I just come in and build a URL parameter. Then you have all these options. You have all these options, like, they basically already give you the idea. Like if you want to go for the sources, by right, this is where you put in, let's say, the location. So if you want to actually go by placement, then if you put in placement, then you'll be able to know that whether this is coming from Facebook or Instagram. Okay, so this is where they already give you the suggestion over here, right? To identify the source of traffic, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or search engine. So on Facebook advertising, this is significantly, kind of like if you just delete the whole thing, right, and you look at all the options available, it is actually signified by the placement. Okay, whether it's on Facebook, instant experience, and whatnot. So you should actually put in placement for this one. And then, of course, the medium is where you put in other things. Like medium is usually, let's say, if you go on Facebook, there are many places on Facebook. So what you can consider doing here is like, like banner, email. So yeah, you can also put the placement over here. So either way works. And the campaign name is supposed to be the campaign name, like for example, 11/11 sale, for example. And then the campaign content is where you identify the ad. Let's say we go for the ad name, or I would usually go for, where is the ad name? Ad campaign name, ad name, right? So ad name is where I will identify which ad actually contributes more. So that's a very quick walkthrough on how you use the URL parameter. But however, you can do whatever you want. Like for example, if you want to come in and say that you just want to do single image, you can. You can even type in any so-called the whatever that you want to put in over here. I mean, I'm just saying, right? Not necessarily have to do all this. Like, so when you apply, okay, what happened to the campaign? What happened to the campaign? In fact, when you apply, you'll realize that the website URL suddenly, carries something at the back of it. Like you have this UTM source, placement, single image, UTM content, blah, 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 and all that. So this is how, the click or the visit or the action taken on your website will be recorded by the analytical tools like Google Analytics to really let you know where are these. Let's say if you are tracking the conversion on your Google Analytics, and you'll be able to know that, let's say on the day itself, that you have 10 conversion, how many of them came from a single image A, how many of them came from a single image B, for example, and how many of them came from Facebook, how many of them came from Instagram. So that's how we do the attribution. That's why, I mean, the idea here is this is really useful for us to know. And if you're running ads on, like, let's say if you're running for Shopee CPass, for example, you would have, usually Shopee will give you a standard way of generating this UTM, so-called the website URL, the UID, the URL parameter. So that is taken care of by that. You can also do or your own whatever way, you see this is really to pull from Facebook's information, like, the bracket kind of thing, placement. So there are many ways of doing this. That's why this is just a very generic kind of like, a guidance to teach you how to use the URL parameter. Now, you may ask the next question is, Jason, what's the difference between this URL parameter and the one at the very bottom, the build URL parameter? What's the difference? It's the damn same thing. Okay, so seriously, I mean, for fun, I don't know why are they actually putting this at two places over here, but it's the same thing. Okay, so that's for the question how to use Facebook ads URL parameter builder. So that's a quick answer to this. Okay, now thanks for the question. And yeah, we have the next one coming from Eloise. Now, Eloise is my good student. Now, Eloise is actually starting a new campaign. That's why she probably needs some help over here. So there are 3 questions over here. So I'm just going to go through one by one. Now, the first question from Eloise is, she's asking which way she should be using when create split test, Ads Manager or Experiments. Okay, very good question. So when you're creating split test, A/B split test. Now, first thing first, before we go into that, I want to quickly walk you through about split testing. Now, when you're doing split tests on Facebook ads, okay, there are 4 things that you can test: the ad creative, the placement, the audience, and I think the ad creative, the placement, the audience, and I forgot. Anyway, so there are 4 things that you can test. Okay, so when you run split tests, usually what we do is we will actually set it up for a period of time. So usually I would do about 3 to 7 days. And when I do split tests, I will only spend a fraction of the budget. Say maybe, let's say if you're spending about $10,000 to run this ad, you probably need to spend about $50 within this period of time just to run a split test. Now, when do we run split tests? We run split tests when we are, launching something that we are not sure about the outcome, or we are entering a market that we are not certain about, or you are running a massive campaign. For example, you are running one for the Black Friday, for example, and you're spending like huge amount, like let's say $10,000, and you're very worried and you want to make sure that you are betting on the right creative or the right whatever combination that you want. That's where you run split tests. Now, when I do split tests, I usually only split test the creative, because other than that, everything else we can actually track along the way to see which one performs better, and we can scale it or optimize it. So that's how I do it. So when you want to do split test, remember, I would always recommend to only run split test on the creative, because that's the only variable that we can't really control. So when you want to create a split test, there are 2 places for you to start. Definitely, you go into Ads Manager at the campaign level. When you're creating a campaign, you can create a split test. Now, the other way is you go into the experiments inside the Business Manager. Now, if you're not familiar with Business Manager, don't worry. I have a course called the Facebook Business Manager Masterclass. It's like a 4-hour super masterclass to walk you through every single one of the tools and features in Business Manager. Go for that. Now, to answer Eloy's question, should we do it on the Ads Manager or Experiments? It's the same. It's the same. Because the moment you go into Experiment and start creating, it will bring you back into the Ads Manager, because it's always linked. These 2 things are linked. So either way, all right? So that's to answer the first question. So remember, when you want to do split tests, you don't spend a lot of money. You split test only for like 3 to 7 days, and the purpose is drive. I mean, to me, is I will only use this to find the winning ad, so that I can bet all the money on it, when I'm running some big campaign. So that's how we do that. Okay, now Eloise has another question over here. Says, which objective should you be choosing? And it will be a totally new campaign when it and turn on testing on the campaign level. Now, here's the thing: when you're choosing Facebook ads objective, my answer is always very simple. Go for the most deepest logical action that is meaningful to your business. Like, for example, if you're running an e-commerce website, I mean, the best scenario is you should go for conversion, and you choose purchase event as your conversion event that you want to optimize for. Now, if you have a newer, let's say a slightly less like traffic website or e-commerce website that you don't have a lot of conversion on a daily basis or even on a monthly basis, you can start with maybe landing page view. But then again, it's really a choice that you have to make, because in my opinion, I would definitely go for the deepest, like the purchase or the lead generated and something. So that's the thing. Now, when you are creating a split test, technically, this is a split test that is only being set up for that particular period that you're choosing for your split test. So let's say, for example, if you want to run this for 7 days, the campaign by hook or by crook will end on 7 days later, and you won't be able to reactivate this campaign, that you want to actually kind of like run it longer and all that. You can't. Towards the end of the day, let's say if you run for 7 days, the campaign will end and it will give you the winner, and you have the option to create a new campaign using the winner. That's how it works. So a split test campaign is a lifetime campaign that is designated for only that period that you are choosing. So yes, so it's a different thing. Okay, of course it's a campaign, and you do this in the campaign level. The split test is created at the campaign level. So the moment you switch off the split test and you have all the options coming in for you to create multiple creative and stuff like that. So that's, yeah, something I would just leave it over to you to experiment. But fundamentally, when it comes to objective, the second question we're looking at here is fundamentally about the objective. I would say you go for the most deepest logical action that is meaningful to your business. So that's my opinion. Okay, now the third question that Eloise has is, if you have 4 creatives and 4 copies, how many ad set you should be creating to test the variable? In 4 ads needed, the detailed targeting, duration, and budget should vary from others or same components. Now, very good question. If you are thinking about this, right, immediately 4 times 4, you should be having 16 ads if you're trying to do this kind of test on one-on-one. So that's why here's what I think. You probably don't want to complicate the thing too much. So I would say let's focus on one thing. If you're trying to test the creative, the design, for example, we probably focus on the design, because when it comes to Facebook ads, agree to disagree, right? It's the creative that captures people's attention first. Then only people will start reading on the text. So the text, in my opinion, is actually kind of like secondary. But I'm not saying that it's not important, but when you have 4 creatives and 4 copies, technically you might be creating 16 ads. And if you actually split test like this, then you probably will have a very difficult chance to find a clear winner unless you spend more budget on this one. So in my opinion, let's focus on 4. Maybe like I would do is, if I were to do this, I would test 4. I would create four creatives, and either I would use the same copy, or maybe you can try a different variable. But I would say, for the benefit of doubt, let's use one set of copy, because you are running split test on the creative. What we want to find out is which creative, whether it's the image or video, works better for us for this time. So yeah, so when it comes to detailed targeting and all that, it's gonna be the same, because when you choose to test only the creative, you will set the audience, everything at the ad set level, and in turn you have 4 ads that you'll be creating under the same ad set. So that's how it works. So everything is gonna be the same. It follows the same so-called ad sets. I mean, this is where we are testing the creative. But if you're testing the placement or you are testing the audience, then you will have multiple ad sets. You get what I mean? You have multiple ad sets. So depending on what are you testing, but let's say over here, yeah, if you're testing only the creative, then it's gonna be carrying the same audience targeting and duration and whatnot. So that's how it works. All right. So all the best, Eloise, for this test that you're actually carrying out. And of course, you can actually come back to me if you need help. Remember, guys, if you guys need help, just a quick shout out, right? We just launched this today. Many of you knows I have this one-on-one Facebook Ads Audit. The whole purpose of this Facebook Ads Audit is to help you find out what have you done right or wrong on your Facebook ads campaign. So the rule of thumb is very simple. If you have a successful campaign, you want to find out why, because you want to leverage on the success. Now, if you have a not so successful campaign, you also want to find out why, because you want to avoid making the same mistake in the future. So without knowing what you have done right or wrong, it's very difficult for you to leverage. So this one-on-one Facebook Ads Audit is where I spend half an hour with you to dive into your existing Facebook ads campaign, or the one that just passed. Let's say if you run for 11/11, right? That's the perfect timing, because let's go back and revisit whatever happened in the campaign so that we can set the December campaigns right. So that's the best thing. So usually, we charge a fee for the one-on-one audit. Of course, it's not free, but for November only, and it's only for the first 20 who sign up, you get to save $20 US dollar. Of course, you get to save $20 by using this code NOV20 if you sign up by end of this month. So the promotion, this code will expire on the 30th of November 2021 by 11:59 p.m. or when we have 20% who took up the offer. Either way, the offer ends. Okay, so either way, the offer ends. So you either be the first 20 who sign up, or if not so many people sign up, the whole thing ends on the 30th of November. So take this opportunity to really dive into your campaign to find out what we did right or wrong, to set the stage right for the December big campaign coming up. It's very important. So without knowing how or why is happening to your campaign, you can't win, right? So just a quick shout out on this one. If you need help, then quickly go over, grab this offer. Don't wait. Okay, now we have another question from Christine. So Christine said she has created a funnel for Facebook ads using Shopee CPass and run it for 3 days. So she's asking how long does it take to go to phase 2 funnel? It looks like until now it's still running at T1-1. So, okay, here's the thing. When you're building your Facebook ads campaign using my two-step funnel, you will have at least 2 ads running simultaneously. So the tier 1 ad, which is the cold targeting ad, is to go out and try to reach as many people as possible to bring them over into our funnel, whether they click, whether they go over to our website, that's how. And then immediately we have a tier 2 campaign running, which is the retargeting ad. So the retargeting ad is running simultaneously with the T1 ad. So T1 and T2 should launch parallel, because the moment your T1 ads is going out and reach people, you're generating the audience for your retargeting ad. So it may take some time for the retargeting to kick. Here's how it works. It may take some time for the retargeting campaign to kick. So if you don't see your retargeting ad, which is the tier 2 ad running after, let's say, for example, Christine saying like after 3 days, if you don't see the tier 2 running, chances are, okay, you have some misconfiguration on the overall two-step funnel. Because there are few reasons. First probability is your retargeting rule is too strict. Let's say, for example, if you're using a 1-minute video and then you're retargeting people who watch up to 50%, 50, that means only those people who have watched up to 30 seconds of that video, only they will roll into your tier 2. And then you are setting this for 3 days, for example, only 3 days retargeting. So maybe you're not spending a lot of money. There are very little people actually watch up to 30%. Then there's one possibility that your tier 2 ad won't click, won't start running because there's not enough audience coming in. Just not enough audience coming in. Okay, so that's the first thing. So what you can do over here is you can actually reduce the retargeting so-called settings. Instead of 50%, move it to maybe 25% or even 10 seconds to allow more people to come into the audience so that your tier 2 ads can run. Okay, so that's the first possibility. Now, the other way is you can actually lengthen the retargeting duration. So instead of 3 days, make it 7 days so that the audience can stay in for longer and you have a bigger audience size to go through the next step. So either way, okay, it's always about setting this. Now, the third possibility is you probably misconfigured the two-step funnel. You see, when you are using the two-step funnel framework to run ads, well, to me, it's very simple because I've been doing this for like, many years. But if you're not an expert in this thing, you probably might make some mistakes here and there. You probably set this wrongly in here and there. So yeah, so that's the possibility. So I would suggest that you can go in and investigate the entire so-called the setup of the framework to see if you make any mistakes in between. But of course, Christine, if you need help, if you've been running the two-step funnel framework and you kind of like set it up for some reason, you can't seem to find good success in it, probably we can do this together, isn't it? So go over to sign up for this one-on-one Facebook Ads Audit, because if you're doing it now before the end of November 2021 or before we reach the 20% quota, you get to save $20. Okay, when you sign up, use this code NOV20 to sign up for the one-on-one Facebook Ads Audit. You to save $20 only for the first 20 who sign up, or it ends on the 31st of November. Either way. So if you're watching this in maybe November 2022, don't come back and ask Jason, how come I can't use this thing? Because it ended. Okay, every offer ends. Okay, so yeah, so that's about that. And I think, yeah, basically, I think that's pretty much the questions there. Oh, we have our friend here, Wing. What's up, Wing? I hope you're still here. Okay, right. So I don't see any questions coming from you guys over here, but don't worry. Remember, any questions, post in the comment, any of my videos or anywhere, I will bring them back and answer in the following Sunday. So I don't answer your comment. Here's how it works. I don't answer your comment. If you post any questions, remember to come back to my weekly AMA on every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time to watch my answer to your questions. Okay, so that's pretty much a wrap. We are 29 minutes down. That's not bad. I don't mind to end early, but remember, if you need help to find out what you did right or wrong, it's all about finding out why, because that's the best way for us to learn. You have a good campaign, we want to know why so that we can leverage on the success. you have a bad campaign, we want to know why also, so that we can avoid making the same mistake. So this is the best program you should roll in to get me to look at your campaign, to give you actionable insights. What are the things to do next and next and next to really revamp the whole entire Facebook ads campaign that you have and make and create better success for, especially now we're looking at December, right? The big bucks are there for us to hit. So use this link, go to this link, use this code to sign up and get $20 off only for the first 20 and ends on the 31st of November 2021. So that's it. I don't see anything else coming up. So I'll see you on the next Sunday at 10 p.m. to answer your questions with that. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good weekend, the remaining of it, and enjoy next week. Have fun. See you. Bye-bye.